now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also, check our Facebook page, Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, watch the interview on YouTube as well. And also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. And take the Mike Wagner Show wherever you go on any mobile device. We're here once again with a famous Kansas City native. He is an actor and a stand-up comedian. Also, an avid golfer and a former sales manager. He was on with us before. And he's got some brand new stories to tell us. And, of course, he'll tell us how's he doing on his golf game. He travels a lot. And, of course, he loves dogs. He also appeared with Tatum O'Neal and Tim Berenger in quite a few films, and he's also got some upcoming projects. And last we talked to him, he just got back from a road trip and talking about golf, and he's got more on the golf game, and he's got more to talk about, and just a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome back from Kansas City, Jeff Vaughn. Jeff, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wow, thanks for joining us once again.
Mike, that's quite an introduction. And I'm sorry we couldn't get that Skype thing to work out. I'm sure I screwed it up, and I at least I get to do this interview in my underwear. So, but not that I couldn't have done the Skype in it too, because you just see my head. People will be wondering, I wonder if he's wearing pants.
and of course, with your love and marriage and everything. We'll talk about that. I'm sure your wife wouldn't mind. But once again, for those who missed it, you've been Kansas City native for quite some time. You were a former sales manager, avid golfer. You appear as an actor. You appear with Tatum O'Neal and Tom Berenger. You did some stand-up comedy. You're in Liberty Crossing, Last Will, and also appeared in a little bit like Life or Death, Face of Death, American Preservation, The New Pastor, and more. And also did a little bit of voiceover work. And before we get to your latest projects, once again, just tell us briefly how you got started.
Wow. Boy, that makes me sound like I'm busy, but I'm not. But I'll have to make sure all my friends listen to that think I don't do anything. But yeah, how I got started is, and I think we talked about this before, but the way I got started was really unique and not the normal way. Usually you get started by doing open mics and, that sort of thing and getting some experience to get on stage. And of course I didn't know that. I'd never been in a comedy club before and was just totally ignorant about it. And I thought, you know what, I'd kind of like to do this. So I set about to call the local comedy clubs and let them know I'm available, like they're really going to jump on that opportunity. And fortunately, the one I got hold of, named Clint Warren, he had a comedy club by the name of Famous Johnny's, and he answered the telephone. He owned the club, and I told him what I wanted to do. And of course, he's like, well, because I was so stupid, I thought I was going to go in and audition. I would go on stage and he would sit and watch me and go, yeah, you're a great kid. We'll have you in. But little did I know it didn't work that way. So anyway, he was too nice to tell me to get lost. He would just say, well, where have you worked? Well, nowhere. Well, do you have a DVD? No. And he's like, well, I'm kind of busy. Can you give me a call back tomorrow? And I did. And he said that every day for like a week. And I called him every single day, and every day he had another reason why he couldn't talk to me. Finally, after about a week of this, he said, listen, he goes, this isn't the way you do it. You should have a DVD. You should have experience, et cetera, and tell me where you worked, and you've done nothing. And I said, you're right, but can you just give me like 5 minutes of your life? That's all I'm asking, 5 minutes. And he's like, okay, come in at 3:00. And so I came in. And I spent an hour and a half with him. We really hit it off, and he was like, can you come in and host my shows at the comedy club this weekend? And I said, absolutely. And then I drove home going, I wonder what a host does at a comedy club. But anyway, I went to another comedy club before the weekend came out and watched to see what their host did, and then went back and hosted his shows. And I'm sure it was absolutely horrible, but he's an ex-comic himself, and he kind of took me under his wing and said, here's how you got to do this, and say it this way, and do these things. And as I continued to write jokes, he would help me with my comedy. And anyway, that's kind of how I got started. Usually it takes guys years to get to that position, and I did it in about 2 minutes. All I did was ask, and I got thrown on the stage at a comedy club. So just pure dumb luck.
And then here you are, you're traveling all over and appearing in comedy clubs all over Kansas City and a good portion of the United States. And of course, you do travel a lot, and you can just tell us something about your experiences as well.
Yeah, I do. It's interesting to travel, not only meeting all the different people and all the different comedians I've worked with. It's been just a lot of fun, but you see a lot of interesting stuff because I normally travel by car, so I see a lot of things that you wouldn't normally see. One thing that always gets me, though, is, and I don't know how much you travel by car, but on the highways out there, it's amazing the number of porn stores that are on the highway. You ever notice that? It's the worst place I've ever seen. I live in Kansas City, and I work clubs in St. Louis sometimes. And between here and St. Louis, it's a heavily traveled interstate, there's porn stores, I swear, like every other exit's a porn store.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I'm always thinking, are there really that many perverts out there that a guy can't get to his next destination without pulling over and buying porn? And it just, it kills me. And I'm thinking, I don't even know how they stay in business. I mean, every time, I'm always the only customer in every store I go into.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's just something. It's almost like, there's a liquor store, there's a pawn shop, bankruptcy, a law firm. I mean, that's just typical, it sounds like.
Yeah, I know it, and there I am thinking, God, really? But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I see some interesting stuff, and get to, I get to go some cool places too. I probably my most interesting place to go, maybe not my favorite, but is going to L.A. Of course, I fly out there, and that's always interesting. And of course, I don't mind telling you, when I go out there, I'm starstruck. There's celebrities just everywhere you look. There's celebrities out there, and actually, the last time I was in L.A., I saw my first big celebrity before I even got out of the airport. I went into the men's room, and standing using the urinal right next to me was Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I bet she was pissed.
Big star, yes, she was. Just silly stuff, but yeah. So I get to go big cities. Then, of course, when I'm traveling by car, I go through little towns and stuff. And it's some of those little towns where you see some really interesting things. Like there's a little town out in Kansas. I can't think of the name of it, but there is the Barbed Wire Hall of Fame, Barbed Wire Museum.
Barbed Wire Museum?
Yeah, you see some weird stuff like that. And I actually went in this place and looked around, and everything you would want to know about barbed wire was in this one building. And you wouldn't think it, but I spent an hour and a half in there. And it wasn't that interesting, but I just got my sweater snagged. Why do I feel like I need a rim shot as we go through this? So anyway, but yeah. So lots of travel, see lots of neat stuff, and really enjoy it. Like I said, meet a lot of fun people. I've worked with hundreds of comedians. Some famous, some not so famous, but even the ones not so famous are really talented. It's amazing the number of really talented comedians out there on the road.
And who are some of the famous comedians you've worked with, and who are some of the not so famous that are very, very, very talented?
Well, I probably won't answer that second part because I'll leave somebody out, and they'll wonder why I didn't mention them. But but famous ones, Colin Quinn from Saturday Night Live. He was a regular on Saturday Night Live for several years. Matter of fact, he was the anchorman on the news update when he was on the show, so he was very well known. Super nice guy too. And Jimmy J.J. Walker, I've done dozens of shows with him in a couple of different cities. Of course, you know him from Good Times, Dynamite, and all
Dynamite,
kind of jazz. Yeah, he doesn't say that very much, but he actually, last time I worked with him, he actually has got something where he's got it worked into his act now, and he didn't do that forever. So I'm glad to see him kind of softening his stance on that a little bit. But so him, Michael Winslow, who was did all the Police Academy movies. He's the guy that does the sound effects in those movies. Worked with him. John Reap, who won the NBC's Last Comic Standing. Actually, I've worked with a lot of guys that didn't necessarily win, although John Reap won, but several that were finalists, and Chris Porter and Ian Bagg, several guys that were finalists on that show. Dante, the comedian out in L.A., that did really well on that show, got a lot of national exposure. So it's been fun meeting all those people, and most of them I stay in touch with, and played golf with a few of them. So it's been a fun ride.
It sounds like a fun ride. We'll talk about your golf game in just a minute, and you also appear with Tatum O'Neal and Tom Berenger. And just tell us all about that, and what's it like working with both of them?
Well, and that movie was, and I think maybe I might have mentioned this when we talked before, but I got into that just about as oddly as I got into comedy, because when I started doing comedy, a friend of mine took a video of me and sent it to a mutual friend of ours out in L.A. who'd been there for years, and he was a director and actor, and just does a little everything out there. And my friend sent him the video, and I got an email back from the movie guy that my friend sent it to, and said, "Hey, I didn't know you were doing this, so it was interesting." And I said, "Yeah, well, thanks. It's nice hearing from you. If you ever had anything for me in your business, I'd love to do it. I've never acted in my life, and I don't want to be an extra or just a background guy. I want words." And so here I am asking for a part in a Hollywood movie. I've got no experience, yet I'm demanding that I've got to have lines, blah, blah, blah. And I thought nothing else about it. Gave him, that was it. And about 6 months later, my phone rings, and it was him. And he was directing this movie with Tom Berenger and Tatum O'Neal and James Brolin, two or three other people that escape my memory right now. But he said, "I think I got a part for you." And sure enough, he did. So there I stood doing movies with these big movie stars, and I didn't have a clue as to what I was doing, but I did it, and it was fun. And then that's led to, after when I was doing that, the other people on set was like, you need to get an agent. You need to be, doing more of this. And so I did, and I've done several, smaller independent type films, but I've done several, and so that's been a hoot. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to do another full-length motion picture. Be filming this summer and fall, and won't be released till next spring sometime. So I've got several acting deals on the horizon. I don't know if you want me to talk about those now or not.
You know what? Let's just go right ahead and talk about those briefly as well too, since you mentioned it. I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
Yeah, this one, it's funny. All the movies I've ever done, I've always been I've been a bad guy a couple of times. Like I was kind of a hard nosed pit boss at a gambling casino in the movie with Tatum O'Neal, and but usually I'm an FBI agent or a cop or something like that. I guess I just got that look. But and the movies I've got coming up, this one, and the name of it's called Headcheese, the movie. It's kind of a horror movie, and I've never done one of those before, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. But oddly enough, I play a sheriff in it, so I can't totally shake my role of a law enforcement. So, but I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, it starts shooting in July and shoots through the fall, released early next summer, and it's being done by a film company called Crude Comics Incorporated. And if anybody ever wants to see any of their work, they've got a Facebook page and a YouTube channel. So I'm going to read off their info right now for your listeners if they'd like to check it out. They've got several little short videos on their YouTube channel, but it's Crude Comics, Crude Comics, Crude Comics, like it sounds like, INC, and that's what they are on Facebook, Crude Comics Inc. And then their Facebook page, their YouTube channel is the same way, Crude Comics Inc. So they can check them out on Facebook, and they'll be kept up to date on the releases of this movie that I'm going to be working on with them this summer and fall. And then YouTube, they've got several short films. As a matter of fact, I heard from the I'm not sure, the head of the Crude Comics Incorporated, I guess. I'm not sure what his title is, but that's what he does. And I just heard from the other day, we might even do a couple little shorts, as they call them, before we even start filming the full length motion picture. So there's, if they check out those pages, they can be kept up to date on that. And I know one of the people in this movie is Richie Ramone of the Ramones. Are you familiar with them?
Oh my goodness, the Ramones! Holy cow! I was in the punk scene for a little bit, and they were like, what do you call it, like the Led Zeppelin of punk or something? It's like so popular, yeah, something like that. And I could think of that one song the Chicago Bulls played, and I was just trying to think. It's let's go,
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
I don't know what it's called. Their big song is I Want to Be Sedated is the one that always pops in my mind.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorites. Like, every time I get on, it's like, grow up in Wisconsin, just like a lot of Midwesterners, you do the polka. You do the punk slam polka. It's like you do a polka, but you run into people, and you do like the thing, you just go up in the air, you just, like that, you just give them a little slam with a fist. It's like, do the punk polka out there. Is just amazing.
So, hopefully he won't do that to me. But when I was told he was going to be in the film, I thought, man, that's cool. I'm going to work with Richie Ramone. So I'm looking forward to that. And we've got several scenes together, so it should be a lot of fun. Like I said, it's kind of a horror genre, kind of some killer trolls or something loose in this thing. But again, it's Headcheese the movie is the name of it. But if they want to follow Crude Comics Inc. or me, or both, we'll keep them updated as to when this thing's filming and when things are going to be released.
Sounds great. And, of course, we'll also get to your second one if you'd like to talk about that. Otherwise, we'll talk about some other things. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also watch our video interviews on the YouTube channel as well. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Mike Wagner Show, or go to YouTube and subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And again, watch the interview on YouTube as well, and take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with Kansas City native, actor, stand-up comedian, and avid golfer Jeff Vaughn, talking about his upcoming films and how he got in the business and some of his appearances. And you talked about Headcheese as one of your upcoming films. You also talked about one of your other films that's coming up, and you can just give us a little teaser about that. Of course, you don't have to give everything away, but just a little bit of a teaser on what to expect.
Yeah, this one I don't know as much about, although I'll start shooting it day after tomorrow. And the name of it is The Monsters Hunt at Night.
The Monsters Hunt at Night. Interesting.
Yeah, I play a bad guy in this, so that's always fun. But I think there's like werewolves and stuff. Like I said, both of these are kind of a horror genre, and I've never done that before. And all at once, the last two I've been approached to do are horror. So I'm kind of looking forward to both of them. It should be fun because I think they get involved with a lot of makeup and cool looking stuff that you don't always do in regular, cop films and stuff, because they got these monsters and things in these. So I'm looking forward to see them working their movie magic in these.
Mm-hmm. It sounds amazing, too. And, after we get this done, we'd like to have you on. And as meantime, you can work on the Skype. We'll get you on video. I'd love to hear about how those come out and some of your projects as well, too. But, of course, we also talked about as well, too, you've been married since 1974 to a lovely wife. And, let me just ask you this question here. What is it like being married since 1974?
Oh, man. Oh my God, I just don't know. But my 45th anniversary is this Friday.
Well, happy anniversary!
Crazy?
Way to
Thank
go!
you. That's a long, long time. And I always say, you know what? We were high school sweethearts. We've been together since high school. And I always tell people I started dating her when she was 15 years old, and she just doesn't know that she could have done a lot better than me. That's the secret for making it last that long, is you catch them early and they're oblivious that they had other options out there.
and here they chose you. That's a good thing.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, little does she know, she's oblivious to the fact she could have done much better in life. But so that's the key: get them young before they know that there's other things out there.
Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing too. And of course, we were going to talk about your golf game as well too. You golf with some of your comedian buddies, and getting into maybe some tournaments and everything. And I was going to ask you too. I know we talked about this earlier. By the way, how's your golf game coming?
It's getting it's better. I play a lot. I play about 200 rounds a year, so I play almost every day. And as I'm getting older, it gets worse. But it ebbs and flows. Some days you look like you're Tiger Woods, and the next day you look like you're Natalie Woods. You just never know. And usually your very worst game of golf is right behind your very best game. Just as you think, man, I've got this figured out. I've had a fantastic day today. I probably should join the PGA Tour, and the next day you're brought right back to earth. So, but I've been playing decent lately. So and like I said, it ebbs and flows. You can kind of tell when it's going to leave you, and you can kind of tell when you're getting it back. And you would think when you played as often as I do that there'd be a little more consistency than that, but there's not. It's just like every day I'm like, well, what swing do I use today? But it's still fun. That's my social circle. So I'm out there every day with the guys and hanging out and yucking it up. So I enjoy it. Whether I'm good that day or bad that day, it's still fun.
That is amazing too. Who are some of the comedians that you've played golf with, and how's their golf game?
Well, most of them aren't very good golfers, but it's still fun going out and playing with them. One of the ones I've played a lot of golf, his name's Brian Kellen. He's out of L.A., and he travels with George Lopez, and I'm sure you know who George is. Mm-hmm. And so he's his opening act worldwide. They travel. They've got shows in L.A. and Scotland and, wherever in the world he goes, he opens for him. And he wasn't a golfer when he started opening for Lopez, but Lopez is a big golfer. And so my friend said one day he walked into his hotel room and there's a brand new set of Titleist irons and clubs and bag. And there was a note on it from George that says, "You're going to start learning now." And so he got him on lessons, and he's turned into a pretty good golfer. So Brian and I have worked together several times out of town, and we take our golf clubs and we play golf all day and do shows at night, and it's a lot of fun. So I played a lot of golf with him. And I play with Dante, the comedian. I don't know if you know who Dante is, but he's out of L.A. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, supposedly he has done more shows for the troops overseas than anybody since Bob Hope. He does that all the time, so he does tons of those. And he was a finalist on NBC's Last Comic Standing, but he and I worked at a club one time. I think it was in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we played and just had a blast. And he doesn't play very much, but we just had fun and laughed all day. And so it's a good time. He's one of the nicest, not just comedians I've ever worked with, but one of the nicest people, period, I've ever met. So it's always a blast to hang out with him, and he's just funny as could be too. So played with him, and played with Ian Bagg a couple of times, and he was a finalist on NBC's Last Comic Standing. There's several of them. Like when I used to travel a lot more than I do now, but when I used to travel, I'd find out who I was working with, whether I knew them or not, I would get the contact information and send them a note and say, hey, I'm a golfer. If you are, bring your golf clubs. Sometimes they write back and say, I don't play golf at all. And other times they'd say, that sounds good. I'll bring my golf club. So, and that's fun when that happens, because usually when you're in town working on the road, you do shows usually Wednesday through Sunday, sometimes that long. And so you got nothing to do during the day, so it's fun. You got somebody go out and play golf during the day, and then you come back and clean up and go to the comedy club and do shows together at night and do that for a week. So that's a pretty good way to spend the week, playing golf and making people laugh.
And of course, somebody has to have the balls to do it. That's for sure. So
yes, we do have that. To do both, actually, it takes a lot of balls.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay, we'll talk about some of your upcoming appearances as well, too, on the comedy circuit and a few more things. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. Check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe today at the Mike Wagner Show on YouTube. Please subscribe. We love subscribers and followers. And you can also listen and download on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, watch the interview on YouTube as well, and take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with Kansas City native, actor, stand-up comedian, and avid golfer Jeff Vaughn here on the Mike Wagner Show. He's been talking about a couple of upcoming films, which he'll be working on during the summer. We'll talk later before the year is over and how that's coming, and a lot of upcoming things coming on as well, too. He travels a lot, plays some golf, and talks about his wonderful marriage to his lovely wife since 1974. And of course, you got some upcoming appearances as well, too, on the road. And you can just tell us where can people reach you and where can people see you?
Well, they can reach me at Facebook is the best place to reach me. I'm on that every day and usually put a lot of silly stuff on there. I never put anything serious on there. So if anybody wants a laugh during the week, they should tune into my Facebook page. Plus, I keep everybody up to date on my comedy appearances as well as movies and that sort of thing on there too. So they could find me. I'm just as Jeff Vaughn, JeffVaughn is how I am on Facebook. And of course, there's probably a jillion Jeff Vaughns on Facebook, but if they would put this in their browser, it would be www.facebook.com. And of course, that's the Facebook. That's how they get onto Facebook. But then just /Jeff Vaughn and the number 7, and that'll take them directly to my page. So you don't even have to search for the right Jeff Vaughn in the thousands that are probably on there. Just type that in, facebook.com/Jeff Vaughn 7, and that'll take them directly to my page. Send me a friend's request, and I will happily take it, and they can keep up with comedy shows, movies, my golf game, pictures of my Bloody Marys and pina coladas, whatever I'm working on at the moment, they can see it on Facebook. So, and I do have a website, if anybody would want to check that out. And it is J Vaughn Comedy, and that's just the initial J, jvaughnComedy.wix.com/Jeff Vaughn.
That is amazing, too. You got a lot of fans that love you. You love golf. You love your wife. And you also love dogs, too. And little do we know. You can just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I do love dogs. And I've only had strays or rescue dogs. That's it. I'm always preaching adopt, don't shop. Get rid of the puppy mills and that sort of thing. So there's about 6.5 million homeless pets every year in the United States, and not all of them find homes. So and not all of them have a happy ending. So I'm always advocating adopt a dog. So that's all I've ever had, and they've just been absolutely fantastic. I got one time Actually, the one I've got now, he is a full-blooded Great Pyrenees, but I got him through a rescue shelter and picked him up at a foster home. So if people are looking for full-blooded dogs, they can find them out there. There's actually, if somebody wanted a poodle, they don't have to go to a puppy mill. They can go on to the internet or Facebook or whatever and just put in poodle rescue, and there would be poodle rescue places all over the country looking for homes for homeless poodles or German shepherds or whatever the dog breed happened to be. But one time too, I had a dog. I got him at the dog pound, and he was just a few weeks old, so he didn't really look like he was going to be much of anything. But he started getting a little older. He started looking like a full-blooded Old English sheepdog.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, that's weird. You can't really probably get a dog like that at the dog pound. They're pretty valuable. So I went and had a DNA test done on him. Found out if he really was an Old English sheepdog. It cost me $400.
Oh.
I know, yeah. For $400, I could have bought an Old English sheepdog.
Oh, my goodness.
But it's interesting to find out what they are. So every dog I've ever had, we've done DNA test on them. Because, like I said, they've either been strays or shelter dogs. I do happen to know the one we just got is full-blooded Great Pyrenees, but the other ones I had DNA tests done on them. It's interesting to see what they come back at as, and but they're fun. They got their great personalities, and the one that looked like a Old English sheepdog, he was challenging. He liked to eat poop. And it's like, why do they do that for? You couldn't think of anything worse tasting than that. And the funny thing is, though, I went to the vet one day and I asked him, and I said, how can I keep him from eating this stuff? And you're not going to believe what he told me. He said, put something on it that makes it distasteful. I'm like, really?
And what did you put on there?
I said, it's not like he's pooping cake and ice cream, It already tastes like dog poop. So, but I did. He did go one day, and I took some cayenne pepper and I put it on there about an inch thick, and he eats it in like 2 seconds. And I swear to God, he looked at me like, my God, that's the best taste of poop I've ever had in my life. And so it was, but I finally got him to quit eating it, though. I saw him go one time and put a little of my wife's cooking on it. He never touched it again. That's not how you were married for 45 years.
Unless it's a dog you want to take over to a rescue shelter. Oh my God! But anyway, they're a hoot, man. I love them. Our lives revolve around them. They go everywhere with us, and go to lunch. It's amazing. Almost every restaurant that has outdoor seating, and I'm including the really nice linen tablecloth restaurants. They allow dogs at their outdoor seating, and our dogs, every dog we've ever had, goes everywhere with us. If somebody doesn't allow dogs, we're probably not going. That is amazing, and I have to take a dog with next time wherever we go, like go see you, go to Kansas City, and everything like that. And, of course, we just have a few minutes as well, too. We'd love to have you back on and talk about how your films did, what are some of your upcoming projects, and maybe some life stories, more golf games, and what's the best advice you can give to anyone at this point?
Well, just believe you can do it, because like I said, the way I got into comedy and acting was just pure dumb luck. You just try it, and you don't know if you can do it until you try it. And I was dumb enough to walk in blindly and try both, and I've been able to get some work. So it's been amazing. So if I can do it, anybody else can, no matter what. Whether they want to be show business or a mechanical engineer or a jet pilot or whatever. It's never too late, and just do it. Do it now. Get started. Doesn't do you any good to fiddle around and wait 2 more years. Just get started.
That's amazing, too. And, of course, we're looking forward to have you back on as well, too. You're always great, Jeff. And, of course, just one more time for our audience out there, what are some of your upcoming projects? What's your website? And, once again, how do people contact you?
Okay. Actually, one thing I didn't mention, but this may be too late to mention this because it's this Saturday. But I'll be performing this Saturday at Clint's Comedy Stop in Overland Park, which is a suburb here in Kansas City. I'll be performing there with my old buddy John, the Cookie Man Penny. I've done tons of shows with John all over the country, and he's a first-rate comic, former professional boxer. But he's open on the road for Glenn Campbell, and he's worked with Sinbad and Roseanne, and he's got quite a resume. So I'll be with him Saturday night at Clint's Comedy Stop. So I'll get that coming up. And yeah, to reach me, Facebook, like I said, best place is Facebook. I'm just listed under Jeff Vaughn, but if they want to type it into the browser, it's facebook.com/Jeff Vaughn 7, the number 7, and my page will pop up on their screen if they just type that in their browser, and they can keep up with all my upcoming shows and films and, like I said, golf game and anything else. And thinking of dogs and shows, I did a show last year, and I've done a couple of shows, charity shows for rescue shelters, and I think I'm going to do another one this fall. So if they keep up with me on Facebook, I'll keep them up to date when that's going to come. But that's always fun because they always bring some homeless dogs, and we trade them around and bring them on stage sometimes in between acts, and so I love doing those.
That's amazing, too. You have a couple of horror movies coming up as well, too. Just tell us just briefly once again, and looking forward to talking about that next time before the year's over. Tell us what's coming up.
Yep, Headcheese, the movie, we'll be shooting that this summer and fall, and that'll be released next probably early next summer sometime, and that's being produced by Crude Comics, Inc., INC. They can find them on Facebook and YouTube, and that's going to be a hoot with Richie Ramone of the Ramones is in that film, and that's going to be lots of fun. And then this Wednesday, I start shooting. This is a short film. The Headcheese, the movie, is a full-length motion picture, but and I think they've also got that scheduled for some film festivals, and they've got a lot of plans for that. So that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to following that. But the one I do start on Wednesday, is called The Monsters Hunt at Night, and I don't think that's full length. I think that's like a short film, and I'm not sure when that gets released, or I don't have any details other than that, and that I'm showing up to start filming on Wednesday, but I'm looking forward to both. I know they'll both be a lot of fun.
It is amazing, too. And, Jeff, we're going to be talking to you again before the year is over. Give us an update. It's always great having you on, and we'll look forward to having you on video again very soon, and we'll get the bugs worked out. And do us a favor, keep this up to date, and look forward to having you on again soon. It's always great having you on, Jeff.
Mike, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, and, I'll keep you up to date on everything.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. Also, become a sponsor of the program or donate today at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of The Mike Wagner Show.